Hello YouTube, welcome back to Case Technologies. Today you'll be working with Sherman, and I just want to go over the basics of Vagrant and how it can be useful to you or anyone in your organization looking to test or develop some type of website, web server, learn how to use Linux or another operating system that might be useful for you into your own home lab environment, and you want to spin things up quickly. So let's go ahead and begin. Right now the screen we're actually looking at is basically a diagram I came up with to visualize the different tiers and the way you set up Vagrant to be useful. So in the first tier down here at the bottom, which Vagrant refers to as the provider tier, and I refer to it personally as the virtualization tier. So right here, you would have to have some type of virtualization platform or container platform like Docker, VMware, or VirtualBox. VirtualBox and VMware are pretty similar. However, VirtualBox can be installed just about anywhere. You can have a standalone server. You can make it something right on your desktop. It's very easy to set up and understand. Whereas VMware, you would have to actually have something dedicated, some type of old laptop, desktop actually dedicated to it, and then you would have a client access it and set it all up, and then change your provider around to be Vagrant. Now Docker is also software based, and it can be local onto your instance, just like a VirtualBox would be, and you would just spin up your containers as needed, and make sure you have your Docker images. So there's a whole lot going on with the Docker setup and understanding containers. That's why I recommend just go ahead and use VirtualBox, install VirtualBox on your system, and then by default, it's your default provider, because that's what Vagrant prefers for people to use. But if you're familiar with Docker or you're pretty good with VMware, you can use those as well. You can use VMware Desktop, or you can use the entire ESXi. VMware Desktop is similar to VirtualBox. All right, and then in the next layer or next tier or step in this process of getting Vagrant up and running, you would also have to have the Vagrant software on your system so that you can run commands like Vagrant up, so that you can issue a help and understand any other switches or commands that are associated with Vagrant. Then to execute the actual Vagrant file to do the Vagrant init or initialization, you would actually have to configure the Vagrant file and utilize the Vagrant command to spin up those instances. And Vagrant will then interact with either the default provider or other providers on this tier if you specify them in your Vagrant file. You would also have to specify the Vagrant box that you would like to use at this level as well. Then after all those things are set up, you have your Vagrant file configured, you have the software installed, and you already have, of course, your VirtualBox or your other provider that you would like to use. You can then connect to it via one of the Vagrant commands, and it's doing port-based access. So Vagrant will have an associated port where you can gain access like an SSH or CLI terminal, and then you can provide various system administration tasks. You can update your server, you can modify changes, bring up a web service on it. You can manage it with something like Ansible, which isn't too hard to install. You can test your playbooks, and there's all sorts of things that you could actually do with Vagrant, and that's what makes it so beautiful and useful. Remember, like, comment, subscribe, and please share. Also, don't forget to hit that bell so that you can get notified of all of our new releases, our new videos, and anything else that's coming down in the pipeline. Thanks again.